What's good, R&B squad? This is Heart of Ruth. I trust that this message meets you guys in good spirits. If you are new here, welcome. We're happy to have you, and Jesus is, of course, always happier. So I have a word to deliver. It may get a little bit noisy. There's a lot of noise around me, but you guys can turn the closed captioning on if it gets to be too noisy, or just hang on to my voice, okay? And this message is going to be very detailed, so listen carefully and you will know if this is for you or not. It came from a dream that I had. So in this dream, there are a couple of things that really stuck out to me. I felt like God was really highlighting a couple things. He was highlighting the entire dream, but there were some things that particular attention was given to, and I'm just going to get right in. So in this dream, the opening scene is this man. He is laying on his back and he is speaking with this woman. He's looking up at the ceiling. He also looks at her and he is speaking. Okay? Now, it struck me, even as I was looking at this scene in the dream, that I had seen this somewhere before. Matter of fact, I'd seen it in more than one place before. Do you guys remember me giving that word about around Thanksgiving? I had given a word where I said you'd have something to give thanks for. The man that was laying down asking that woman out on a date and asking her to be with her. Okay, so this dream reminded me of that dream. The man was also a very handsome man. He was laying on his back and he was speaking with her as he was laying on his back. And I had the sense that he wasn't in a hurry to go anywhere, that he was there to talk, to really have a discussion with her, to really open up to her. And what's interesting is that the Lord reminded me of where, other than my dreams, I had seen that. Have you guys ever seen in the movies how there is a couch on which a person would lay down when speaking with a therapist? So I went doing some research on that, and I discovered that the reason why some therapists, not all, have their patients lay down on a couch is that it creates a feeling of safety and openness. It allows the patient or the person that is seeking therapy to open up and to actually feel as though they can say certain things without being judged. So that is what the gentleman was doing. He was laying on his back and he was speaking with her. And I should add that, again, I should put emphasis on the fact that he did not seem like he was in a hurry to leave. He seemed very relaxed. He seemed like he wanted to open up with her, that he wanted to talk to her. So then the scene switches and he goes to run an errand for one of her relatives. And I feel the need to mention that the relative was a female relative, okay? That may be a hint for someone. And while he is gone running this errand, the woman is in one room and her female relative is in the other room. But she can overhear what the female relative is saying. And the female relative is basically bad-mouthing her and her person, the same person that just went to run the errand on that relative's behalf. She's bad-mouthing them and bad-mouthing their relationship and talking about some really intimate details of their relationship that she has no business talking about, and things that she didn't have any real evidence on. And then she starts to say, but I'm working on this and this in my life, and when I reveal it, it's going to be even better than what anybody else has going on. And she implies that it's going to be better than what the woman who is listening to her has going on. Okay? Then the scene switches again. But before the scene switches, I remember the woman listening to her female relative badmouth her and her person. And at the same time, she's thinking, so he went to run an errand for her, meaning the female relative. But if I were to ask him to do anything for me, to run an errand for me, he would act like I was asking for an arm and a leg. And she began to get in her feelings about that. So then the scene switches and he comes back from running the errand. And he's putting stuff away in the kitchen cupboard. And while he's putting stuff away in the cupboard, he says to her, I went to see a therapist while I was gone. And after I talked with the therapist and I got some things off my chest, I realized that now I don't want to just be doing stuff to make other people happy. I want to do what makes me happy. I want to focus on my happiness. And when he says that, the woman, she's listening to him and she's thinking, you know something? He's referring to me. I'm one of the people that he's talking about that he's always trying to make happy. And she gets upset again. But now, mind you, the man never said to her that she was one of the people that made him do things that made him unhappy, or one of the people that he kept trying to please. He didn't tell her that. She just assumed that she was one of the people that he was referring to, and she got upset, okay, without even asking him to clarify what he meant. And I couldn't help but notice the reference to seeing a therapist. Now, if you guys can remember at the beginning of the dream, who was he laying down talking to when he was laying on his back? He was talking to her. He was opening up to her. So basically, when he comes back and he said he's been to a therapist while he was gone, I had the impression, the way the Lord broke it down to me, I had the impression that he had had some time to think while he was gone about the things he talked about with her when he had been laying on his back speaking with her. And after careful consideration of the things they talked about, he realized that he had to start living his life in a way where he considered his own happiness as opposed to people pleasing. Okay? That he wanted to be in a place that made him feel safe, a place that made him feel heard, which clearly, from the fact that he was laying down speaking with her, was an indication of him feeling safe and heard around her, feeling like she was a safe place. Okay? So basically, this man meant that he wasn't going to listen to anybody that was saying anything negative about his life or about their relationship. That he was going to focus on what and who was making him happy. Okay? But this woman, she interpreted it completely differently in her head. She thought that he was implying that she was one of the people that he kept trying to please, and that was causing him to be unhappy. The man never said that. Now, I keep emphasizing that she was assuming these things as opposed to knowing them for a fact, because I'm building up a picture here of the message that the Lord conveyed with this particular dream. Okay? So then she finally decides that she's been holding in her frustration long enough, and she starts going off on him. And she tells him that he needs to take accountability, that he needs to stop pointing fingers at other people for the fact that he's not happy. And he needs to start taking accountability because he's pointing fingers at everybody but himself. And then she goes off accusing him of all kinds of things. And the stuff that she's accusing him of, none of that actually happened anywhere in the dream. And there was no indication in the dream of this man being the kind of person that she was accusing him of being. But here she was going off on him. And I remember him mentioning to her in response to her going off on him, well, you know, there was this and this that was revealed with you, and I didn't get upset. And he was speaking about a past indiscretion on her part. But she doesn't even listen to that. She's busy derailing him and going off on him for all of the shortcomings that she assumes that he has. Okay? And she even goes so far to say that someone that she knows had mentioned to her that she needs to be careful of the men that are coming around her. And I felt like she was taking a little dig at him by mentioning that. Like she meant he was one of the men she had to be careful of. And that was it. Then I woke up from the dream. Oh, there is one very important detail that I forgot to mention. That was not the end of the dream. While she was derailing him, guys, I kid you not, it's like the woman was having a vision at the same time of the word trust. Like she kept seeing this word flashing in front of her in black and white. Trust, just the word trust. And even though she kept seeing the word flashing in front of her in black and white, she wasn't paying it any mind. She was just busy going off on him. And that was the end of the dream. Okay? Now, the way the Lord broke it down to me, for someone, you can either be a man or a woman. This can go either way. The person that you have in your life, you are full of doubt about this person. And even if you're with them right now, you're in separation from them, it doesn't matter. This is how you feel. The way the woman was feeling in that dream toward her significant other is the way you feel toward this person. You have a lot of doubt and a lot of frustration and a lot of resentment. But hear me out. A lot of what you are assuming is just that, an assumption. There is no evidence, and you'll know this is for you because you'll know that this is true. There is no evidence in the natural of any of the stuff that you're so mad at actually being factual. It's all about stuff that you heard from other people about your person. It's all about stuff that you assumed from things that the devil tried to use to make look crazy. They tried to make your person look crazy with certain circumstances and whatnot, but it was all a smokescreen. And the fact that this woman kept seeing the word trust flashing in front of her in black and white while she was going off on this man, God is trying to tell you that you can trust this person. When I woke up and I sought the Lord about this dream, listen, the Lord said that this person, not only can you trust him or trust her, but this person is literally God's gift to you. God gifted you this person. He handpicked this person for you himself. So there is no need for you to question, because if God is telling you that you can trust this person, that this person is his pick for you, his gift to you, then it really doesn't matter who else is saying what. And from what that man said in the dream, he said he's going to do what makes him happy and stop pleasing everybody. Your person is already at the point where they don't care what other people have to say about the relationship. They don't care what other people have to say about you. They just know that you're their safe place, and that's where they want to be. You're their happy place, and that's where they want to be. Okay? Now, if you go off and accuse them of stuff and draw conclusions without any hard evidence and get upset with them over that, you're taking that safe space away. You're breaking down that element of safety that this person feels with you. You're encouraging him or her, or discouraging him or her from being open with you. They won't feel encouraged to be open with you anymore. So for whomever this is for, under the sound of my voice, I am pleading with you. Do not jump to conclusions and assumptions about your person. This is somebody that you can trust, and you know that because God has already told you this. This is not the first time that you're hearing this. Okay? And about that female relative, listen. For some of you, it's going to be a male relative. But for some of you, it's an actual female relative. There is somebody in your circle, whether it's a family member, a close friend, or whoever, that really doesn't want to see you happy. This person really, and they're envious of your relationship. They're envious of the potential that this relationship has, even if you're not with this person yet, even if you have not come into union with this person yet. They know about your person somehow, and they are upset. And they're secretly wishing that they could be in your position. So that's where all the criticism is coming from. They're going to come to you criticizing you for being in the relationship, criticizing you for wanting to be with this person. They're going to badmouth the two of you with other people, with anybody that will listen. But the reality is they want to be in your situation. They want to be in your shoes. And God led me to Isaiah 6, verse 7 to 8. He touched my lips with the burning coal and said, "This has touched your lips, and now your guilt is gone and your sins are forgiven." Then I heard the Lord say, "Whom shall I send? Who will be messenger?" I answered, "I will go. Send me." This describes your person right now. The Lord himself has cleaned your person up. The Lord himself has refined your person, put him or her under pressure. And he or she has come out refined. All right? And they're ready to do God's bidding, especially where the two of you are concerned. They're ready to follow God's instruction. So this is not the time to be listening to anybody who has anything bad to say. And also the Lord revealed to me that this relative, if you are not yet aware of which one of your relatives or friends is doing this, that person is going to be exposed. Their dirty laundry is going to be aired. Okay? And not just that. The Lord referenced the Israelites and the fact that they were able to get away from Pharaoh and they were rejoicing. God is going to put a separation between you and these people in your family or in your friend circle who are trying to get between your relationship, because He's not playing about the two of you. He is not playing about this union. This union was put together by Him. And so anyone, and I mentioned this before, people need to take their hands off of what God is doing, of anything that is God's will. Because if they can clearly see that it's God's will, and they wouldn't be jealous of it if they didn't see that there was some powerful anointing on it, something beautiful about it. People don't get jealous of things that have no value. Okay? So just the mere fact that they want to be in your position, though, that in itself is an indication that this is something beautiful that the Lord is putting together. But if they don't stop, not only is God going to separate you from them, but He's also going to deal with them very severely for trying to interfere. So I hope that that message confirms something for someone. I hope you got your blessing by listening. I love you guys. I will be back with another word as soon as the Lord releases me. Take care.